Hello and welcome. In this video we are going to look at how to create a frequency polygon and a cumulative frequency polygon using the Geogebra calculator suite graphing function. If you have a smartphone or a laptop or a tablet or any computer, you can download Geogebra, which is a free app. You can change to a different calculator. We have graphing calculator access here. We'll use the probability calculator in the future, but in the graphing calculator we are going to try to graph a, why is this doing this? I want to go full screen. Hello. All right. We are going to graph a frequency polygon. Now, Geogebra is a little bit more hands-on when it comes to graphing things. However, it makes a really nice graph once you do it. So in Geogebra, to create a frequency polygon, we need to go into the entry bar here, and we're going to enter in the words frequency polygon. If you're using an iPad or a cell phone of some kind, we're going to have to use the on-screen keyboard. If you are using a laptop or if you have a keypad attached to it, it's a little bit easier to do it that way. But once we start typing in frequency polygon, we'll get a number of different options here. We're going to go with the frequency polygon, and we can select frequency polygon, which will have list of class boundaries and list of heights. So we'll click on that. Now we need to enter our data values for the class boundaries, so we can show Geogebra where to start the graph and where to end the graph. So it'll give a left bound and a right bound for each bar of the graph. So in order to do that, we need to use the function bar to get the curly brackets. Again, if you're using a keyboard, there's the curly brackets are right next to the letter P. In order to do this, we're basically telling the Geogebra what the set of values will be. So our class boundaries here start at 0.5, and then we're just going to enter every one of these class boundaries. I have it printed in the notes as well. You can just follow along with that. Give me a second while I type these in. 15.5, comma, 20.5, oops, 20.5, comma, 25.5, 30.5. 35.5, and that's it. We don't need the extra comma. And now the class heights are going to be, again, the frequencies. So if you're using this with the on-screen keyboard, you need to select between A, B, C, the function buttons, and the numerals. So we're going to need to go back and forth with all of them. 29, comma, 26, comma, 36, comma, 26, 25, 7, 1. We're going to press enter, and we're going to see no, we don't see anything. Why don't we see anything? Well, remember, our data values start from 1 and go to 35. So here is 1, 35 is going to be way over here. In order for us to see the heights, we also need to make our highest frequency of 36 visible. Right now, I only see up to 4 on the y-axis. We're going to need to change this a little bit. I'm going to get rid of the on-screen keyboard. I'm going to slide this down, and all of this works on a touchscreen device as well, so you can follow along with that. One way of doing this is to use the setting gear. Another way of doing this is to use your fingers to pinch to zoom if you have a touchscreen, or a trackpad if you have a trackpad. But just in case you don't, we can click on the settings, go to settings. Our smallest X value, number of hours of study, is 1. For this, I'm going to put an X minimum of 0. Our highest hours of study is 35. For this, I'm going to put, let's just do 40 so we can see the graph. Our smallest Y value is going to be a Y value of 1. In this case, I'm actually going to put -1 for both of these minimums so we can actually see the full extent of the graph. And then the highest frequency here is going to be 36. So let's go 40 as well for that. We'll press enter. We'll close the settings, and we'll see the graph. And you'll notice that Geogebra on its own uses the midpoints for the class marks, even though I didn't tell it to. It knows automatically that the midpoint of 0.5 to 5.5 is 3, and it puts a point at 3. And so on and so forth. So here is our frequency polygon or frequency line graph for the data set. Also notice that Geogebra even adds an extra class mark or an extra point below the graph and above the graph, so we can see exactly where this graph is. Now we can also use the cumulative frequency data here to make an ogive. Again, an ogive is a polygon that displays the data as a cumulative frequency. So what we can do here is change all of these frequencies to now become cumulative frequencies. So we talked about this in the previous video. Cumulative frequencies just mean up to and including. So all I'm doing is adding all of the previous frequencies to the next class so we can get the up to and including frequency for each of these. 149, and then the last one becomes 150. And if I press enter, my graph is much more different. Now I need to really change the y-axis values. Again, I could either scroll or I could just use the settings here. What did I just do? I clicked on something I didn't mean to. Settings. Oh, that's not what I want. Let me go back into this. I clicked on something. We want to change the y-max to 150. But maybe we'll add a little bit more just so we can totally see the upper side of the graph. So we'll go to 155. Let me close this, and here is our cumulative frequency, or ogive, for the frequency polygon for this example. All right, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, thanks for watching.